Hey guys, it's Exxioz here for the last update video with me, for the rest of the history of the channel. The FBI, they think they found the body of the original Exxioz, but they haven't, and they are not going to get me. And yes, I did it. I did. I did murder the original guy. I gave him his 3 warnings, so you can't blame me. So this is my confession. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to get myself before they get me. Tonight for 4th of July, I'll be turning myself into a firework. 'Cause for America, USA. don't don't worry what that means. Don't worry about what that means. It's for USA, America. I will die for my country. I would never, ever murder someone for that. I'm a true patriot. I love America. I love freedom. I love frosted. But for 4th of July, I thought, just to keep with this patriotic message, I will read the Declaration of Independence in its entirety to celebrate this occasion. So, here we go. In Congress, July 4th, 1776. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men were created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments, I'm Joe Family, governments are issued among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government made its foundation on such principles, and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect the safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, or the dictate that governments long established shall not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed, but when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them absolute despotism. It is their right, it is our duty to throw off such government, and to provide new guards for the future security, such as when the patient sufferings of these colonies for the motherland, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having a direct object, the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid word. He has refused to assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden he has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, God damn you, King George, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass another laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies of places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of the public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time, after such dissolutions, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining, in the meantime, exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within, all the injustice, all justice he has. I am justice. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for the purpose of obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pay us others to encourage their migrations hither and raising the conditions of new appropriation to lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount in payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither. Pause. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers, his officers, to harass our people and eat out the substance. Pause. Eat out the substance. I can't take this anymore, chat. They're after me. They've been after me for weeks. He's He's effected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us, in many cases, of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offences, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it as once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies. Hang on, chat. For suspend for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislations, and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in our cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He's plundered our seas, ravaged our coast, burnt our towns, destroyed the lives of our people. Already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He is constrained. Yummy. He is constrained. I was really hungry. Yummy, I was so hungry. What's that chat? Yeah. Yeah. Constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands, he has excited domestic insurrections amongst us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. Pause. Sexes. I love search. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by the legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to the native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces all separation, and holds them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war and peace, friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America and General Congress, assembled appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies strongly publish and declare that they deny colonies and of right to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levi war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Georgia, Bud and Gwinnett, Lyman Hall, George Walton, Maryland, Samuel Chase, William Packer, Thomas Stone, Charles Carroll of Carrollton, Delaware, Caesar Rodney, George Reed, Thomas McKean, Massachusetts, Samuel Adams, John Adams, Robert Tree Payne, Elgridge Gerry, North Carolina, William Hooper, Joseph Hughes, John Penn, Virginia, George Wythe, Richard Henry Lee, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Harrison, Thomas Nelson Jr., Francis Lightfoot Lee, Carter Braxton, New York, William Floyd, Philip Livingston, Francis Lewis, Lewis Morris, Rhode Island, Stephen Hopkins, William Edley, South Carolina, Edward Woolridge, Thomas Hayward Jr., Thomas Lidge Jr., Arthur Middleton, Stephen Hawking. New Jersey, Richard Stockton, John Witherspoon, Francis Hopkins, John Hart, Abraham Clark, Connecticut, Roger Sherman, Samuel Huntington, Williams, Oliver Wolcott, New Hampshire, Matthew Thornton, New Hampshire, Josiah Bartlett, William Whipple, Massachusetts, John Hancock, Pennsylvania, Robert Morris. John Hancock, he puts his head on his back. Pennsylvania, Robert Morris, Benjamin Rush, Benjamin Franklin, John Morton, George Clement, James Smith, George Taylor, James Wilson, George Roche. And that is the Declaration of Independence. Happy 4th of July, Exxioz viewers. Happy 4th of July, Exxioz viewers. This is the last time you'll be hearing from me on this channel. And probably the last time anyone will be hearing me. This is my tribute and my farewell. Not even my twin brother, Jaws 62, will know what I did. So, happy 4th of July, everyone. I love you all, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart.